Like I say, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Tony Hollis Live Talk Show. Testify. Gonna pick back up on some school board issues today. So just sit back, relax. I know I'm running a little late, but I look like I did a little better than last time. So just sit back, relax, and we will be coming back ready to start the show. Like to say good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Tony Hollis Live Talk Show Testify. As I indicated, we're going to be picking right back up where we left off, I guess back here about a week or two ago, speaking on some school board issues, okay? So we're going to be talking about that. But before we get started, as I say, I tried to run a advertisement for the various businesses here in Blytheville or Mississippi County for that matter. So we got a young gentleman who is a professional car salesman. His name is Ace Tramble. And so we're going to let him speak to you a little bit about his ad and show his displays, and then we will roll into the show, okay? So let's get started right now. Okay.
Are you in the market for a new vehicle? If so, come on over to Can't Afford Nissan, located at 305 North Service Road, Blytheville, Arkansas. We have exclusive deals on both new and pre-owned vehicles at a price you wouldn't believe. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. And remember, when you buy from Ace, you're at the right place, because nobody beats a Canada deal. Come see me.
And of course, he want to show you a little bit of his selections. We should have combined this video, but it was right at the last minute. But want to show you a popular car that is selling like cupcakes. And so you also can see Mr. Ace Trummer for this vehicle. So let's run that now, okay? Sale professional, Ace Trummer. This is the Charger, very popular selling car. If you like this vehicle, please get out to see Mr. Ace Trummer, professional car sales. Located at Cannon Ford Nissan. Of course, you see the interior, got a lot of amenities. This vehicle can be yours. And there is his slogan. Just to know, Ace in the right place. Give him a call, 870-530-0038. Okay, so that takes care of the advertisement for today. And so we're going to go ahead and roll into the show, okay? So let's try to, let me move some of this stuff out of the way first. But we'll come back at that later. But anyway, as you all know, we had a school board meeting back a couple of weeks ago. I think it was the August meeting. And it caught my attention because I was a little disappointed into how the board conducted themselves, which led me to check to see exactly how much training do these school board members have? I mean, certainly there should be something within the training that would somewhat guide them in regards to how they should conduct themselves, as well as decorum. I didn't see anything in their policy for governance in terms of conduct or misconduct. And so they definitely need to try to adopt a policy that will govern decorum in terms of how they conduct themselves with each other while they're taking care of the business as it relates to our students and parents. Okay, let me turn this down a little bit. So that's where we are. That's what we're going to be discussing today. So in sending my FOI to the superintendent, Blankenship, I did receive some information from her in terms of the training hours of all the members since day one of their election. They have a total number of hours that they should have received it. Okay, now my initial thought was to put everybody training hours on the screen just to show you where each member is at. I'm not going to do that today. Okay, the reason I'm not going to do that today is because, as I understand, the conduct on the board have gotten better. But the reason that I'm coming now is that although the conduct may have gotten better, we could have board members, half of the board, I believe there's about as many as 4 board members who may be in violation of not receiving the required training hours and mandated hours according to policy. Okay, and we're going to talk about that. Now, if you are a parent or a taxpayer, you have a vested interest to participate in these discussions today. One reason is that what you have to understand is that we have school board members who have the responsibility in certain cases, not just setting policy, but there is financial matters that they must be very, have a general idea, if you will, of how finances work as it relates, because they're dealing with a very large budget. If I'm not mistaken, the school budget is somewhat bigger than the city council budget. And so they also have the responsibility, uh, which we're going to be talking about, school safety and uh, and students discipline. Okay, that is very important because if you're going to have board members to participate, let's say a student is up to be suspended or in some cases expulsion, then you want to have board members who will be participating that have the necessary training in order to be fair and casting whatever vote that they cast as it relates to the suspension or expulsion of your son or daughter. So that's very important. And so there will be hearings where the board will play a part in. And so you want to be assured that you have a board who is very educated on the subject matter, school safety and student discipline. Okay. They also, the reason this training is so important is because we in school performance. And so board training play a major part in that. In fact, I believe the board training is somewhat incorporated into whatever plan or goals uh, that is proposed to the state in order to help us come out of this, come off the school performance improvement list, excuse me. And so that's why we need a board um, who, first of all, is qualified meaning not just being voted in, but do they care to get the necessary training to help the Blytheville School District move forward? All right, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. And so before we go any further, I just want to send a happy birthday shout out. I just saw on my screen there, Tanya Wheeler. That's my niece. She got a nickname. We call her Redbone. So send your happy birthdays out to Tanya. But anyway, let's get started. Okay, let me go to my screen first, and I want to show you all something. Let me find it. Okay, now let me put something up here. I want you all to read that. Okay, want to make sure I got everything showing correctly. But I want to make sure you all see that. Okay, we're working. Okay, read along with me. It's a training on how to read and interpret an audit report. Okay. Number 2, school safety and student discipline for board members elected after January the 1st, 2019. This is mandated. I think this is a 1 hour session of training that every board member must have. This is mandated. If a board member do not have this training, then they are to not participate in any board business until they have this training. As a matter of fact, let me go over here and these are the 2 policies that actually govern a board member who is found to be deficient in their hours. You have policy 1.2. You know, you can go to the Osceola Blytheville School District and speak with Mrs. Blankenship or speak with her assistant, and you can ask for this policy 1.2 on vacancies. Okay. And there's another policy 1.11 speaking about board members training. I'm going to leave that up there for a while. These are 2 policies that you really do need to govern yourselves in regards to being informed. Okay. So that will tell you everything that need to occur when it comes to dealing with board members who care not to get, well, not saying they don't care, but board members who are found to be deficient in their hours. If they don't bring themselves current with their hours, then policy 1.2 and policy 1.11. Those are the policies that govern those particular board members who are found to be deficient in their hours. Okay. And of course, after board members are found to be deficient in hours, that they be the annual 6 hours of training that is required yearly, or in this particular case, this 1 hour training on school safety and student discipline. Why that law is so important? Let me go back to where I headed at. Why this law is so important right here is because there have been reports of bullying going on in the school. As you know that, when a kid is being bullied, that can have some very traumatic psychological effects on that student. In some cases, it have led students to take their life. And so that's why this is very important for board members to attend this training. It's very important that board members, in fact, this 1 hour training probably is more important than the whole 6 hours of training that they should be getting annually. Okay. So that's what that training is. We need them also to be abreast to how to read an audit report. We don't want to be a board to be found in financial distress because of some reason we're not managing the people's dollars effectively. All right. Wasteful spending may be a cause, or unnecessary spending. So they must know how to read an audit report, okay, and interpret that audit report. So that's why that's important, okay? So let me take that off. And of course, these board members who are found to be deficient, I don't know if I mentioned that, according to board policies, I think this was either in policy 1.11 or 1. What the hell policy? 1.2. It's in one of them. But actually what it says is they have 30 days from the date of January board meeting. Most of the time, come the first meeting of January, the superintendent will give a report, okay? And in that report, it will show which board members are current in their training hours and which board members are deficient, okay? So those board members who are found to be deficient, they should immediately, they have 30 days to bring themselves current. I think that may also apply to the 6 hours of training that they ought to get. Well, actually, it is the 6 hour training, but this new law that was passed in 2019 on school safety and student discipline, they must take that 1 hour training session. All right. Now, let me see if there's anything else that I need to get over here. And before we go any further, in all fairness, and then I'm going to turn this thing over to the audience. If you have any questions, we're going to take your questions. If you don't have any questions, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I know there's many who watching the football game. Football season is back wide open, I hear. But hopefully, if not today, maybe sometime tomorrow or up in the week going forward, that you will go back and you will listen to this broadcast, okay? So, but let me show you something right quick. I'm hoping that you can see this here. Let me see if I get it to show up on my screen. And if it does show up, then that means you see it. So just give me a minute, all right? Want to make sure we both are looking at the same thing. Okay, let me just scroll down. Let me just scroll down to 1 point. I don't see it popping up on my screen yet. It should be popping up, but we're going to keep going. Okay. All right. Just give me a minute, you all. I don't see that popping up on my screen. And it should be showing. Anyway, it'll come up, I'm pretty sure. I'm where I need to be. Okay. Now 1.2 is coming up right now. Okay, here we go. I'm hoping you all can see this because I don't see it on my screen. If not, okay. If not, we're gonna come back to it. Okay, this is 1.2. I still don't see that on my screen. Let me go up here and try to do something different here. Let me see if that'll work. Okay. Oh, there we go. I didn't have it added. So now it should be showing now. Okay. So let's go back up here. Should be showing now. There you go, right there. Okay. 1.2, board organization and vacancies. Okay. Now, these are all the reasons, shall I say, that will occur in order for a seat to become vacant. So these are the things that shall exist. If you go down to number 4, right there, number 4. Number 4 is a fail to receive the mandatory hours of training within the statutory time period. That's very important. We're talking about training, you all. All right. Now we want to go and I want to show you what could happen and what's the process when it comes to removal. Okay. I'm going to page, I think page 11 is where I'm trying to go. It's 10. Okay, we should be coming up now. Let's see if this is it. Should be coming up now. I don't know if that's it. It's policy. I think it's 15. I said, yeah, let me go to page 15. Okay, here we go. Board members training. Okay, I'm hoping you all can see that. It's the individuals who are elected to serve on the district board of directors are required to receive annual training related to board service. Board members who are elected to serve in initial or non-continuing terms shall continue a minimum of 9 hours of training by December the 31st of the year following their election and a minimum of 6 hours of training by December the 31st of each calendar year. Therefore, the initial 9 hours of training a board member should receive shall include. Remember these 2 things here I talked about right here? Let me highlight that for you. Right there. Where it says training on how to read and interpret the audit report and information regarding school safety and student discipline for board members elected after January the 1st, 2019. Okay. So I just wanted to show you all that. All right. So let's go back, get out of this here. I just wanted to show you that. But those are the policies, okay? And again, for any board member, read that again before I take it off the screen. Have 30 days from the date of January board meeting to complete the deficient hours of training. 2, it's very important. Why is very important? Because we're trying to elect a superintendent right now. Not excluding what business have already been conducted by board members who are not sufficient in their hours. Okay. Number 2 say any board member who is found deficient in their hours not participate in official business except for school board training until obtained deficient hours. Okay, the only thing that these board members are supposed to be doing who are found deficient is go and get some training. That's the only thing that they're supposed to be doing, to go and get some training. All right. So that's why I asked a question on Facebook, as well as you see my crawler here down at the bottom where the question is being asked. You know, should school board members who are found to be deficient in their hours, should these board members continue to conduct business for the Blytheville School District? Okay. Now, I'm getting ready to go ahead and turn it over to the audience. I see I do get some people that who have tuned in, and so I'm gonna try to get rid of some of this stuff right now on my screen right here, and then I'm going to allow you to jump in. I want to say this here in fairness. Although I said I was not going to show the hours of the board members who are deficient in their hours, I'm not going to call them out, okay? But there are as many as 4 board members, 4, who are deficient either in the annual 6 hours of training that is mandated, you hear me? Mandated, that they must have. 4 of them are deficient in that. And also, I think there is as many as 4 who are deficient when it comes to this. Let me find it for you. I thought I wrote it down over here. Here you go. This is what I'm talking about here. This is Act 1029, School Safety and Student Discipline. As a matter of fact, just take a shortcut. Just Google this here, Arkansas. Might want to start out with Arkansas. Arkansas, hyphen Act 1029, School Safety, Student Discipline. Okay? That is something that was passed by our state legislators in 2019. All right? And so that is what I'm talking about when I mention these 2 things right here. Training on how to read and interpret an audit report, and school safety and student discipline for board members elected after 2019. So that's what I'm talking about. It's this act right here. Okay. So that's what we're talking about. And in fairness, as I indicated, to show you how 2 board members for the Blytheville School Board of Directors, there are 2 board members who have gave an enormous amount of training hours to equip themselves on how to become an effective school board representative. And I want to show you these 2 people and give you their hours. I'm going to give you their hours. The first one is Mrs. Barbara Wales. That ASBA, that stands for School Board Association. Okay. Now, just with the School Board Association, an institution that gives training, and it must be approved by the Arkansas Department of Education, Department of Education, Arkansas Department of Education. So for the Arkansas School Board Association, Mrs. Wells, I understand, she have more hours than any board member that presently exists right now. Of course, Mrs. Wells have served longer than most of the board members. There may be 1 or 2 other board members who have served long term. But Mrs. Wells has 464 hours with the Arkansas with the Arkansas School Board Association. And she also this is with the state. I imagine state meaning Department of Education. She have 458 training hours. That is outstanding. And coming next to her is Mr. Billy Farrer, who is my school board rep. Thank you, Billy, for caring. That's my school board rep. And thank you, Mrs. Wells, as well. For your hours. But Billy has Arkansas School Board Association. Billy has a total of 441 hours of training with the Arkansas School Board Association. And with the state, Billy has 421 hours of training. These are 2 outstanding caring board members, and I think I would be remiss to not mention that. Okay, so when you see them, shake their hand, give them your appreciation on caring enough to equip themselves on how to be effective school board representative. So kudos to Mrs. Wells and Mr. Billy Fair. As a matter of fact, both of those individuals, they received not only an award for just an outstanding board member award, but both of these school board members received it, the Pinnacle and Platinum Award. I guess that's something that is somewhat considered to be a high award, for their services in terms of their training hours or what have you. And so both of those school board reps have received both these awards. Okay, so again, give them your appreciations and congratulations on their efforts, caring enough to give of their time. And this is a non-paying board. That's why it is very important that we acknowledge these people. These people don't get paid a dime who sit on the school board. They should be paid. Hopefully somewhere, in the coming years, the state legislators will take note of that and, pass some type of legislation of compensating our school board representatives for their time. All right. So that is that. Now, what else do I have? Well, anyway, I think that's it. Look like we have I'm going to go ahead and pause for a minute, and I want to go over to my board to see exactly what people done tune in. Look like we have Miss Priscilla Williams. How you doing, Miss Williams? Got Mrs. Rump. How you doing? Got Mrs. My sister prophetess, Miss Joanne Bell, down on the Little Rock, northwest end of the state. She also is it's her hometown, Blytheville, so she's a Blytheville resident as well. Of course, let's see if we got any questions here. This is very important when it comes to children with IEP and 504 plans and all children with disability. I totally agree with you, Mrs. Bell, because why is that is important? Because just take we're talking about student discipline, okay? School safety and students discipline. Why is that important for the board members to have training? Is because there is a different path of disciplinary actions taken against students with special needs as opposed to those students, regular age kids, students, excuse me. Suspension and expulsion is the last straw to be pulled when it comes to suspension or expulsion of a child with special needs. So that's why that's very important. Our school board must be very, very educated in this area, students with special needs, because there's going to be times where these students, most of these students who participate in the special education program, most of these students, not only it's a challenge to them to learn educational wise, but these are students normally who have conduct problems, find themselves where they have to be disciplined a whole lot more than those regular age kids. Okay. And it is their disability which impedes or prevent them from being able to apply themselves to learn. So they definitely need training when it comes to students with special needs. Okay, so thank you for your concerns, Ms. Pale. Okay, who else do we have over here? Okay, sending out a birthday to Tanya. Same with Mrs. Rump, sending out a birthday with Tanya. Okay, who is this? Rules need to be enforced. Most definitely. This is what I want us parents as well as taxpayers. We need to hold our school board members accountable. Okay. There are rules in place. When they ran for this position, they knew it didn't pay no money. They already had that information. This is a non-paying position. Just because it's a non-paying position, you do not get to loaf. Okay, you do not get to not apply yourself when it comes to training. If you feel that way, that you don't want to give the required time that is needed, then the right thing would be, not trying to push nobody out, but the right thing would be is for you to resign. We need to put somebody in that seat that's going to be committed to equipping themselves, meaning training, to where they can be better knowledgeable, more informed, and how to participate as a board member and be effective. All right. What else do we have? Okay, this is Mrs. Rump. See if she got a question, especially when you live outside your zone. I don't know exactly what that means. So I'm going to leave that one alone. I don't know exactly which board member that you're speaking about. But again, I'm going to leave that one alone. Of course, we, who was it? Oh, that's just Mrs. Bell saying, thank you for the information. I'm going to run through this real quick, you all. And after that, if you don't have any questions or anything to add to what I've already shown you all, I'm going to conclude this show. I'm right at 37 minutes. 45 is ideal for me, but definitely don't want to go more than an hour. Okay. Okay. This is Cuz. It's my Cuz. It's Penny. Look like she's typing a new message there, and so we'll come back. This is Mrs. Bond. How you doing, Mrs. Bond? Outstanding. She's sending out love to Mrs. Wells. That's Miss Carolyn Bonds. I want to speak about Miss Carolyn Bonds for a minute. Let me pause for a minute while you all put your questions together. This is a school board employee. Excuse me, school board. This is a Blytheville District employee, school employee, Mrs. Carolyn Bonds. I think it was the month of August to where she resigned. And speaking with Mrs. Bonds, I understand that it wasn't her desire to resign. She actually wanted to continue to work as long as she had the love and desire to work for the Blytheville School District. And so I imagine it was a tough decision for her. And one of the things that I will say Mrs. Bonds was underpaid. I don't know exactly what her salary was, but what she was asking, to my understanding, I think it was something, I want to say anywhere between, $50,000 or $60,000 salary. I want to say it might have been 60. Now, let me tell you something. Many of you may say $60,000, that ain't no money. This woman been given a heavy load to carry, the responsibility of transporting your children, my children, grandchildren to and from school daily, without our bus drivers being involved in some accident where some child is injured. Your kids arrive to school safely and they return home safely. Now, with a district which is pretty large, you may think that 1,600. What's our what is it? We got 3,000 students. Those are a lot of students. Even if you don't get but 1,100 of them that's riding the bus, those are a lot of students to where you have been given the due privilege and the responsibility of transporting these students, children, to the school and back home safely. So $60,000, that's peanut money. This woman should not be paid nothing less than $80,000 a year, nothing less than 80. And I think all she actually was for 60. That's why it's important that board members get this training. It's not just the student safety and school safety, but it's about learning how to work with money, learning how to read an audit report. Is it feasible to give such a raise? Financially, that is. And if it is, then give this lady her desire. I'm not going to say her worth, because if we had to pay our teachers and various personnel their worth, we'll break the bank. All we asking is be fair in the pay scale. Mrs. Bourne deserve every bit of that $60,000 plus some more. I say 80. That's what the salary need to be, about 80 grand. But anyway, that's all I want to say about that. That's Mrs. Rum also saying, thank you, Mrs. Wells and Mr. Billy Fair. I know they appreciate the love. Okay, we're almost at the bottom, you all. That's Mrs. Williams sending out the love as well. That's Mrs. Bond. I am listening. Thank you for listening. Please, I hope everyone is being very attentive to this information. Okay, this is very important to have school board members who are current in their hours and they are legally conducting board business. And if they don't have their hours and they in past times, and that's another thing, we got to go back and not just talking about now and going forward. For these board members who are deficient in their hours, what does that say about some of the decisions and the votes that they have cast already? Should there be a recall on that business? If you have had board members, because the policy clearly states until you bring your hours current, okay, until you take care of those deficient hours, you don't supposed to participate in board business. We're in the process now of hiring a superintendent. How have the votes been cast by those board members? Half of the board is in violation. I'm telling you now. I'm not going to call their names. Half of your board is in violation right now. They shouldn't be voting. They shouldn't be conducting board business until they bring themselves current to become sufficient, opposed to deficient in their training hours. Okay, and so that is very important. Okay, who else we got? I'm okay, and you, Mr. Dollars, all fine, Mrs. Rump. We'll be talking shortly, okay? Just Mrs. Rump again. If they are not qualified, it's time to replace them. That's up to the voters. Find out who is your board representative. It's 8 board members, okay? It's 8 board members. You need to find out. You can go to the Mississippi County Library, give them your address, or what have you, and they will tell you who is your board representative, or you can call the school personnel, administration, and they will try to help you to tell you who is your board member, okay? My board member is Billy Fair, one of the 2 that have given a lot of his personal time to training, along with Mrs. Wells. Okay, where we at now? Okay, is this a question? How can we find out where the school zones are? Okay, I just mentioned that. You can go to the Mississippi County Library, Mississippi County Courthouse, or you can call. And you can ask them, they will direct you, of course. You walk in, you just tell them, your business while you're there, and they will point you to which, I think it's in the same area to where you get your marriages license, I believe. At least that's the way it used to be up here in Blytheville, inside the building. But they will direct you, and you just tell them, get the whole map. Not only find out what is your zone and who is your rep, but get the whole map. Because the reason I say that is because you can play a very part into trying to get other board members elected to some of these other zones. Then again, you may like who's serving. If you like who's serving, then no harm is done. But if you got board members to where you got a question mark by for whatever reason, then you need to be speaking with somebody in those other zones to have them consider, sending someone to the Blytheville Board of Directors that who will be serious in conducting the business of our district. Okay, so very good question. Okay, who is this? But to continually not comply with the policy. That's something else. I mean, we have them up here having food fights, just like that August meeting, down here having food fights at a public meeting, embarrass us all and themselves as well, and don't even have the training. Had they not had that food fight in August, I wouldn't even be talking about this right now. We could still have board members serving in violation of policy. But maybe that should have happened. Maybe that was for me, because I hadn't been to a board meeting and Lord know when. Maybe that was for me. Maybe that one meeting that I attended, and Lord know the whole year, that one meeting that I saw was very disgusting. It was so disgusting to the point to where I had to start asking questions. And this is what I find. Okay. Now, this is Mrs. Bond. Okay, she resigned in September the 8th. Okay. That's when it became effective, I guess. 21 years. What's that? 21 years, 12 years as director. That is a very impressive resume. I mean, to have 1 year responsibility of transporting students to and from school, that's outstanding. I mean, I tip my hat to you. And that is very outstanding. And ladies and gentlemen, she have to rely on responsible drivers. So I thank Director Mrs. Carolyn Barnes for doing the best job that she could do, or she was doing, in terms of vetting our drivers, holding our drivers to account. I have attended meetings. I think they have some policy to where a driver better not be caught texting on their phone. I don't care if they're at a stop sign. No cell phone texting. And I think that's a good rule. In fact, I don't know if it's policy, but I like the rule policy. And so we need our drivers. We need their undivided attention when they transporting our kids to school and from school. And not just that, but even going to the ball games, or whatever other school function, traveling over the dangerous highways. And so, again, I commend you for your dedicated services, Mrs. Bond. And if you board members hearing me, hire this woman back and pay her the money that she rightfully deserves. Okay? All right. Who else we got over here? It's Miss Barnes again. I know I was qualified for a salary. Oh, yes, you was. That and some. Mrs. Yes, they are not operating within the policy. Sure not. This is Mrs. This is Miss Tanya Southern. Oh, yeah. I mean, you have to scratch your head and say, wow. 8 board members and only 2 in good standing. Lord, help our children. Well, you only get 2 that have the most hours. I think there is 4 or 5 board members that are current in their 6 hours, as well as this 1 hour training. This act that was passed, Act 1029, to where they supposed to go and get the training on learning how to interpret and read an audit report, as well as take a 1 hour. In that 1 hour training, I imagine, I don't know if it's 1 hour for each or the whole training is 1 hour, but I think the whole training is 1 hour. And they must have school safety and school discipline. Okay. So it's 4 board members from my count that are in good standing. All right. Oh, you're most welcome, Ms. Barnes. Okay, well, that is is that the end? I think that's the end of all the questions. How much time I got? Okay, I said 45. I'm at 50 minutes now. Definitely not going over 60 minutes. And so I'm going to pause again and ask the question. Do any of you have any suggestions that you would like to personally, if you know your board member right now, if you know your board member, I'm going to give you the opportunity to respectfully now, to be respectful, to respectfully speak to your board member. What is it that you would like to say to your board member? What is it that you would like to say to the next school superintendent that we will be hiring? Do you want a superintendent who will come in and clean up what need to be cleaned? Or do you want a superintendent that is going to come in and going to serve the special interests? If you hire a superintendent that is going to come in and serve the special interests, Blytheville will continue to be in the toilet in terms of school performance, if nothing else. Okay? I don't know if I got anything else that I need to talk about, but that's pretty much all I have, you all. It's 52 minutes. Got 8 minutes to go. I don't see anyone asking any more questions over here. I'm gonna go back to my board. I don't see anything else over here. Okay, we got a question, Mrs. Bond. Let's put that up. I asked the next superintendent. Oh, I just talked about that. I asked the next superintendent to please clean up and be fair across the district. Do y'all hear that, ladies and gentlemen, parents, taxpayers, and last but not least, school board members? We need a superintendent that is going to be fair, and they're going to do what need to be done. No matter if you voted for him, if you all are involved in some business of the district, and the superintendent somewhat disagree with you, hopefully you will learn to agree to disagree without holding grudges. This superintendent, if you cast a yes vote for this superintendent, he is not to be in your pond. He is not, or she is not to be at your beck and call. The voters will not tolerate you using somewhat threat of trying to not sign this superintendent for an additional contract in terms of an extension, especially if he doing great things and moving the district. We're either running flat or we're making improvement in terms of our district as a whole. You can't use the next superintendent as your weapon in terms of serving you or some special interest group that you're part of. That ain't gonna happen. We're not gonna allow that to happen. I know I'm not. Okay. See if we got another question over here. Okay, my board member is in great standing. Need a superintendent that will clean up, not the buddy system. We just talked about that. No buddy system. We don't need these special interest groups. I done heard it all. You might have grew up with this person. This person may be one of your, what they call these college deal, frat brothers or sisters or sorority groups. We don't want none of that crap. I don't care. They can be the doorman down in the basement. If they get the right mind and the heart, okay, and of course, the education experience to come in here and turn this district around. I don't care who they are, black, blue, green, you know, high income, low income, what's their faith, what's their belief, I don't care. Long as we buy into the same concept of moving Blytheville forward, let's hire the best person for the job. Okay. Okay, Mrs. Southern, we need a superintendent that is coming and doing what's best for the school district. I think we all are in agreement with that. Ms. Barnes, Ms. Rump, yourself. I think we all agree that our next superintendent need to have one focus, as you all have stated, doing what's in the best interest for the Blytheville School District, giving our school personnel, teachers that is, giving them the necessary resources that is needed to help educate our children. Okay, I agree. Look like that is it, ladies and gentlemen, and we're right at 56 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to close this thing out. Again, I didn't know if I was gonna be broadcasting this week. Thought I was gonna be out of town. I may be out of town next week, but if not, you will see me. Okay, so that's really all we have. If you want me to, I'll go back and see if you all can let me try to add that again. See if you all can see that. Now, this again, this is that policy I was telling you about, okay? Those two things there are very important. You see those bullet points right there? Where I got it highlighted there in blue? To where it's a training on how to read and interpret an audit report and information regarding school safety and student discipline for board members elected after January the 1st, 2019. Okay, so far, just this training alone, not talking about the 6 hours. This is something in addition to the 6 hours. Just this mandate right here. There is at least 4 board members who have not had this training. Okay, they have not had that training. So I don't know what going to come of that. Try to blow myself up. I don't know what's going to come of that, but by right, these board members should be disqualified. I'm not an attorney, don't claim to be one, but I can read and I can understand. So these policies, what I have shown you all, policy 1.2 and policy 1.11, those two policies are there. And reading those two policies and looking at the hours of all 8 school board members, I think I can opine and say, or report, it's really not an opinion, but I think I can report that half of the board is in violation of training hours, that they be the 6 hours annually carried over from year to year, carried to year to year, or the 1 hour training for getting training on learning how to interpret and read audit reports, as well as training on school safety and student discipline. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I have. I hope that I've said something to enlighten you. Hopefully will get you to participate in some of these meetings that's coming up. They meet every what is that? I want to say the school board meet every 4th Monday, I believe. Every 4th Monday of the month. So please do thank you, Mrs. Sutton. Please do mark it on your calendar to start participating. The street meetings you should go to, school board meetings, your city council meetings, and your quorum court meetings. You know, I think that's where I need to improve at, quorum court meetings. That's a lot of money, that is going there with this 1 cent, is it 1 cent or half-cent sale tax? This is the time, ladies and gentlemen, to make some kind of proposal as to how you can benefit from this extension of the county economic tax. Don't wait until 2 weeks before the next election. You got 10 years, because it's going to be around for 10 years. Don't wait 10 years and then say, what about me? You know, how can you help me do X, Y, Z? You need to get somewhere and sit down and shut up. It took you 10 years to understand you didn't have nothing and you need help. Anyway, that's my show, you all. Again, I like to say, if I be in town, then next week I will be broadcasting on September the 19th, 2021, topic to be announced. And so please tune in and catch me, and may you all have a remaining blessed Sunday. And I'll say, as I close, peace and love, and God bless.